the MCG on Friday night, a crowd of 88,000 for the contest between Carlton and Collingwood. I'll tell you, the G do it so well, the way they've had these massive crowds. They move them in, move it out with a minimum of fuss. And that probably summed up Collingwood's night too, in a way.
Well, last week, Collingwood, they were 17 down in clearance against the Bombers. They got smashed by 17. They had to go to work this week, what they're going to do against Carlton without De Goey and without Mitchell. It was led by Pendlebury. And have a look at how hard they work to keep these good players away from the drop of the ball. This is what they did all night on Friday night. Have a look at how hard they're working to keep them away. Gets a free kick there, Pendlebury, but this was every centre stoppage in the first quarter. So again, Pendlebury against Cripps, trying to keep him away from the drop zone. And Daicos came into it, was able to get a lot of clearances. There's some free clearances as well. Again, they're setting up to stop Sam Walsh getting near the football. So Pendlebury was instrumental, particularly early, to set the tone. Again, even Nick Daicos is doing the job here, trying to keep them out, and then they get the ball on the outside eventually by a tackle. Again, they've got this one here, just pushing them back, not allowing the football anywhere near the Carlton players. And then Nick Daicos comes into it. They're just trying to protect the area, trying to protect all the grass for him to have it. And they did so well. To go from 17 down, to beat Carlton in this area, this is the last one. Pendlebury just sitting off, just making sure Cripps doesn't go anywhere near it to allow Nick Daicos to run onto. I thought it was a masterclass, particularly by Scott Pendlebury.
87 tackles by Collingwood. I thought their pressure won them the game the other night.
If you look at their forward 50 tackles, I think it was 22-9 or something as well. When they play like that, they have the opposition rattled. They don't know what to do. And we saw Michael Voss as well, just on the interchange bench. He was frustrated. You can see it. Go forward, because they were mucking around with the footy, something like that, TJ, a few extra words. And then they did go forward. You've got Curnow and Mackay inside forward 50. Mackay looked like he was going to break the game open, and this is the result after Michael Voss has said it. I'd love to see this guy play higher up the ground, because he's got that weapon of a kick, and then he just laced out Mackay. So it was too little, too late, but because of Collingwood's pressure, Carlton mucked around with the footy too much.
Just on Curnow, I'm with you 100%. I think they're sitting on his head far too often. He's an amazing athlete, but he wrestles far too much. And I was disappointed in his final series last year, and I was disappointed in his body language and some of his efforts on Friday night. So I'm challenging him, if I was on the coaching staff, to say, I feel that you sometimes don't fight as hard as you need to when things aren't going your way. And there was about 3 or 4... Yeah, it is. And I challenged him on it in the final series, and I thought this was like a final, and there was too many moments like this. So I was pleased that he set up the last goal to Cottrell, because leading up to that, I hadn't seen enough fight in him when things weren't going his way. So that's a big challenge for me. You don't want to be known for that.
At the MCG on Friday night, it was a battle of the big guns, Carlton and Collingwood, and it wasn't necessarily a shootout, but boy, that last goal, that was just something else, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just a game of momentum swings, wasn't it, Dano? Momentum swings, and you see there, Walsh and Akers I thought were huge for Carlton. Daicos was magnificent. Mackay started with 3 first-quarter goals, and Daicos back into the midfield with no De Goey and also Mitchell, and he was phenomenal, Damo.
Well, he kicked the winning goal, didn't he? And the way he did it, we'll see it as part of this package. But it took him just maybe 2 or 3 weeks to get going in this particular season, but he's now back to his absolute best.
Darcy Cameron's tap work was outstanding.
It was, wasn't it, Brownie? Yeah. And Brownie, we spoke with Still Sidebottom on Triple M yesterday, and he was saying that he just had a feeling that Daicos was up for this one on this game, and he was out there sort of verballing his teammates and the opponents in his own little way, and this is the amazing goal. Not many people, maybe no one else bar that man who kicked that goal, could have done that in that moment with the energy and the precision to still kick a very hard goal, running at pace away from it.
And for kids watching at home, look at his movement. He just does not stop moving around stoppage in the forward line, which gets him that opportunity. Lockie Sullivan, well, what a story that was. I got quite emotional watching his family when he's 26 years of age, and I'm sure he's missed that many drafts. He's won 2 best and fairest at VFL level for the Bulldogs, and his family, just his mum and dad, and that was just such an amazing moment, and they're great stories in our game. And
it was very Collingwood. Even the players on the bench were so excited for it.
And look at the scoreboard. So they were down. It was a big moment for there. Here it is. It was a big moment for Collingwood at that time.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you're right, Brownie. Nick Daicos, they crossed to him on the bench, and he was celebrating like he'd just kicked the goal. It says a lot about Collingwood and their culture. Let's talk about Collingwood, because we'll look at what they've done in the last month, and it's been pretty good. They knocked off Brisbane. They knocked off Hawthorn. They smashed Port Adelaide. They had that draw, and then they won on Friday night. But now's the next month. I mean, the opportunities that they've got to really cement themselves probably into the top 4. They beat West Coast. Adelaide a bit trickier now, and Fremantle are hard to play against, but hard to see them not starting favourites in all 4 of those games.
Where is that Dockers game, do we know?
Not sure.
Anyway.
I think it's away. Yeah.
Gee, the Blues need Adam Sard back at the moment because down back, when they're playing against small forwards, I thought Zach Williams looked all at sea in the first quarter. He was holding. It's not his natural role. He's an attacking player. And they got Doherty out, they got Sard out. And I thought when they moved to Boyd, the young player that went on to Elliott, I thought he did a much better job. But they need Zach Williams to be up the field a little bit more because he got lost time and time again. And I thought the pressure on him just got to him from the night because then his foot skills weren't good coming out of the defensive 50 either.
He's a concern for them, Zach Williams. No Adam Sard has hurt them a little bit as well, losing him. Scott Pendlebury, it's interesting, when Collingwood lose, it's too much is made of the senior players, I think, and it's amazing what he's still doing. And this handball, as good as it gets, so the vision, he's got eyes in the back of his head. I agree with you, Brownie. They had a plan to go in to nullify the clearance game of Carlton, and they thought they could get them with their run and spread, and he was central to that. And then this goal,
what's the celebration here?
At a crucial time. He's amazing at Haileybury, what he does with us. And the boys asked, would you give us a celebration? And then they said, what celebration? He said, one of the Haileybury boys has a big forehead. Can you stir him up with a big forehead symbol? So he did it for us, and the boys were wrapped.
All right, do you want to look at some votes?
Yeah, the votes was Nick Daicos. Could have nearly got a 10 with that performance. Jack Crisp.
He was back, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was back with plenty of clearances. Walsh and Acres I love from the Blues.